Welcome to It's Happening. My name is Jared, and this is the Seeking God with the Vandis series. I guess I really need to stop calling it It's Happening because it's not going on the It's Happening channel. This episode will be on our Unseen Realm series, I believe is what I call that channel. I probably I'm going to rename it to Seeking God with the Vandis. Anyways, today's we are going to be it's going to be just a Bible study type thing. So if you are interested, I've got my phone up. If you're watching live and you want to comment, you have an opinion. This is not about being right or wrong. We are just trying to learn, hopefully teach you something, and hopefully we learn something as well. We ask that you keep an open mind and do not be rude to any of us or I will kick you off. If you are interested in ever coming on and doing this with us, I can have up to 10 people on at one time streaming with us and doing this. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. And don't forget, as always, this episode is brought to you by vandystreet.com. The link is already in the chat. You can go to that. We do handmaids. We got sublimation. And don't forget, we've got a huge giveaway going for when we get 200 followers here. So share this with your family and friends. Hit the like button. It's free to subscribe. You can help support us with tips, Cash App, and other ways. And I am going to bring on our special guests and let them introduce themselves one at a time, and we will get right into the book of Enoch. I will bring my wife on first and let her introduce herself.
Hi, you guys. My name's Ashley. Glad to be here.
Mom?
Hi, I'm Mom. I'm glad to be here too, and maybe we will all learn something, or maybe we'll, I don't know what, but we'll just have to see.
All right, guys. So we're going to get right on into it. I've got to mute them so we don't have some kind of echo. I am going to screen share as we are reading. Now, I didn't have a digital book, so it's like a PDF, and I tried to make it the size to where you could see it. So we will be coming on and off as we read and talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and take these two off right now. I will take us all off and read about it. Let me pull this up and make sure y'all can see it. Jeremy, when I pull this up, tell me if you can see this or not. How does that look, brother, right now?
Jeremy?
All right, that's good. I'm going to go ahead and mute both of y'all for now, and I'm going to read just the first part, and we're going to go into it. So this is the book of Enoch, the book of the Watchers, Enoch's Ethiopic, book 1. So I'm going to start right at chapter 1, kind of just go into, this is going to go into who Enoch is, if in case you don't know or haven't read or haven't researched any of this. All right, chapter 1. Who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed? And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision. Hold on, guys. I need to move. The light ain't good in here. All right. Now that's better. Saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens. Now, remember that phrase as we go along through this book and through the Bible and through other books. It's very important when they talk about the heaven. If the word "the" is before heaven or heavens, it's extremely important to recognize that, because you'll start to see a pattern where it will talk about heaven, the heaven, the heavens. So it seems to me that it is absolutely referring to multiple heavens. Okay, just keep that in mind. Which the angels showed to me, and from them I heard everything, and from them as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one which is to come. What he's talking about there is I think he's talking about Jesus. Hold on, I need to scroll back up a little bit for y'all. I didn't fix this for him. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'll reread that one more time. Enoch is a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw. But not for this generation, but for the remote one, which is for to come. So he's obviously speaking of something happening in the future of a future generation concerning the elect. And took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. All right, so I am going to stop right there for a second, and we can kind of talk about that. What happened to it? There it is. Let me unmute them real quick. Y'all just hold on. Okay, so where he's talking about and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might, and from the heaven of the heavens. And remember where I said, remember when it says the heaven. That sure sounds to me like he's talking about the coming of Jesus. What about y'all? Ashley, go.
Yes, I think that is his way of telling about the coming of Jesus when he comes back. Like in the book of Revelations, the very end. I think he's talking about the end.
Okay. Let me put this more into context. As Ashley and I have recently started going back in older ancient texts, this is older than the Old Testament. So I think it's referring to the first coming of.
Oh, you think so?
Yes, because this would be the older than the Old Testament. I mean, it's old. Enoch walked with God. He was taken from God. He was raptured back in the time of the Nephilim.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about when the Watchers came down. That's how old this is, when they created the Nephilim. So, I mean, it could be both, though. But I perceive it in his time period. He's speaking of Jesus coming. I could be wrong on that. What do you think, Mom?
Are you saying Jesus coming the first time? Or, I mean, did I misunderstand, Ashley?
I think
No.
he meant like,
I should have cleared it up at the beginning of this, that this text is an ancient text, very ancient text. So I doubt that it's talking about the second coming yet. It may in the future, he may say something about that, but this is just one of the parts where you find in the Old Testament a prophecy of Jesus coming. Let me read it. And the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. Let me go on. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake with great fear, and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. Okay? Let me put this into context. That sure sounds like he's talking about the coming of the flood. Also.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it could be talking about that.
Well, God, and all shall be smitten with fear. The watchers shall quake. The watchers. So, God, for those that don't know, that haven't studied, God released the flood upon the earth because of all of the Hamas going on, which means violence, which came from the Nephilim, which came from the watchers mating with the sons of God. I mean, mating with the daughters of men.
Mm-hmm.
They were the sons of God. So That's what I mean. He's coming from God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, from his camp, from the heaven of heavens, and everyone will be smitten with fear. The watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them into the ends of the earth. So I think I was even wrong about it, talking about the first coming of Christ. That scripture before. So when you read down a little further, it actually seems like he is talking about God cut the flood somehow. I may be looking into that wrong, but it seems like those two go together and go to the part of the flood where he wiped out. Obviously, he didn't wipe them all out, but for the most part, killed off the Hamas, the violence, the giants. I could
But
be wrong.
but do you remember how he said speaking of the flood, he said he will never destroy the earth by water again, which means the end of times, the earth will be destroyed by most likely fire. So maybe that is what he's referring to.
But yes, that we can get really deep with that though, because when it talks of Jesus coming back, it does talk about him coming back with the fire of taking over, but it also talks about the 1,000-year reign of peace. So that's kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, this is ancient. This is at least 6,500 years old, maybe older than that. This was the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's just some of the stuff that they had found and all that. Remember?
Wait, listen to this.
Took out of the Bible.
Listen to this. There's a scripture that says, "And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame.
And the earth shall be wholly rent and asunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men."
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's talking about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he's talking about the coming of Christ. It sounds like he's talking about the flood, and then it sounds like he's talking about the end of times again.
Mm-hmm.
All in that short period of time. Now, we could be wrong on that, but it does connect. If you're watching this and you know more than us, please let us know below. Like I said, we are open to learning. You're welcome to hop on. Also, I'm fixing to read on a little bit more, and we'll talk some more about it. Okay, so that's where we stopped on 7. We're on 8, and maybe it'll make a little bit more sense because this is the end of chapter 1. So we'll read 8 and 9 and see what it connects to what we just read. But with the righteous, he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them, and they shall belong to God, and they shall be prospered, and they shall be all blessed, and he will help them all, and light shall appear unto them. He will make peace with them. 9. And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all. So that's it. He's talking about all of it.
It sounds like Jesus.
He connected it from the time of Jesus coming to the flood to the time when Jesus comes back. It absolutely is. Let me finish. And to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of all their ungodliness, which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. I mean, like I said, we could be in our minds connecting it to both, because it does sound like it's talking about both. I mean, literally connecting the end times of our times and the times when the flood was. I mean, it sounds like all of it. Could be wrong on it, but that's strange going that far back. He's talking about all of it. I mean, but then again, God was taken up into heaven. Enoch literally walked with God. He was taught by God. He is the scribe of God. Kind of makes you wonder why they took all his books out of the Bible, especially when you can connect the stuff back into the Bible and a lot of parts of the Bible. A lot of stuff is there. They just took a lot of Enoch out, as you'll realize when we get to the next few chapters. So if nobody's got nothing else to say on that, let's go a little bit further, because this is fixing to get interesting. And we may be able to talk a little bit on this, no matter where you stand on this issue. I know that a lot of propaganda, and it also says in the end times there will be a lot of deception, a lot of propaganda, manipulation. So it's going to be hard to find the truth. So we need to seek the truth. And this issue I've been going back and forth on and really digging into. So I'm going to read some of this, and then we'll talk. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 2. Now I put in notes with a question mark for myself. I put flat earth, maybe. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries, sun and the moon, which are in the heaven, again, the heaven, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season. So the heaven right here he's talking about is the firmament. Let me go on. Number 2. And transgress not against their appointed order. Behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it from first to last. How steadfast they are. All over the Bible, it talks about laid the foundation of the earth, the four corners of the earth, the cornerstone, the steadfastness of the earth. It describes over and over and over and over again that the earth is not moving. Well, as we get further into it, you'll even find a spot where he talks about the sun is stopped. So if the earth is orbiting the way science is telling us it is, it can't be. I mean, if we believe in the Bible the way we do, we have faith, and it's the truth, then it sure seems like on a lot of spots of the creation and in even Older Testament and ancient, that it is speaking of a flat type earth with a firmament with the waters above and the waters below, which would make it not necessarily flat. In our minds, we picture it that way, but I have been creating some images to show later what I mean by what I think about flat when it talks about that. But if you listen, it says it. They do not change their orbits. The luminaries which are in the heaven, they always rise in their season. They do not ever transgress against that appointed order. How steadfast they are, how none of these things upon earth ever change. But all the works of God appear to you. Behold, summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, clouds, dew, and rain lie upon it. Now, but all the works of God appear to you. What do you think that means? I know what it means. What do you think it means, Mom? After reading about the luminaries, the heaven, how they transgress, how they do not do this, and then I read, but all the works of God appear to you. What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so let's go back to how I'm starting to believe that the earth isn't spinning. How steadfast they are, but all the works of God appear to you. It's moving. We're not. The firmament, the heaven, the sun, the moon, the stars, it's moving.
Okay.
Those are the works that are appearing to you in their seasons. Observe ye how in the winter all the trees seem as though they had withered, and all their leaves except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain old foliage from 2 to 3 years till new ones come. And observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth, over and against it. And you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with a growing heat. So you cannot tread on the earth or on a rock, by reason of its heat. Yeah, see, that's so deep right there. I mean, I really need somebody to talk with on that. I will skip a little bit further and do one more that I want, some more we'll want to read that we'll talk about. But yeah, guys, if y'all have been researching this and seeking God a lot longer than us, and you know more about this stuff, or you have opinions, please do not be afraid to let us know. I am truly trying to learn and understand all of this, because some of it I can connect back to the Bible, and then some of it, like that, it just throws it off to me a little bit because it seems like it's talking about multiple things at once. I'm going to go over here. We're going to be in chapter 5, verse 4. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord, but ye have turned away, spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness. Your hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace. Therefore shall you excrete your days, and the years of your life shall perish. The years of your destruction be multiplied and eternal
Execration.
and shall find no mercy. In those days ye shall make your names an eternal execration unto all righteousness, and by you shall all who curse, and all the sinners and godless shall imprecate by you, and for you, the godless, there shall be a curse, and all shall rejoice. And there shall be forgiveness of sins, and even every mercy, peace, and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light. For all of you sinners, there shall be no salvation, but you shall abide a curse. But for the elect, there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. I'm going to stop right there for a second because I'll say what I think on this. It seems like he is, on one hand, saying that the sinners are condemned, but immediately after, also reminding you that there's a way out, that there is forgiveness, that there is mercy, that there is a light, that we all shall inherit the earth.
During the time of Moses, there wasn't just 10 commandments. They got stripped down quite a lot. There was 162. And God already knew that no way, we can't follow 10. We can't follow 1 half the time. But we darn sure can't follow 162. So he had to make a way to make it all work. Make the way out.
Right.
That's your choice. It's always your choice.
Right.
But I think what I'm hearing is they even knew back then that there was going to be something coming, something or someone that was going to give you the way out.
Yeah. Especially Enoch. Enoch was the scribe of God. So yeah, I'd say he knew something. And it's going to get even deeper as we get into it. I mean, it gets very supernatural. There's no wonder they took this stuff out of the Bible, but I think that's the most important part. It's what's really brought me closer to God. It's what really has helped me truly start to understand all this, the unseen realm, reading the books that are taking out, studying other ancient religions that in a lot of ways connect, even back to, if you go to the Anunnaki of the Sumerians, the tablet that they found, they got a very, very, very close story of Adam and Eve. And it almost seems like the first Adam and Eve story. And if you haven't checked that out, I highly encourage you to go research that, whether you would believe in that or not. It is definitely worth learning, especially when you can connect it in the Bible and other places as well. But I will ask you this. while I have y'all on here. Mom, with you being the older of us, we realized that they started teaching us 100 years ago or so that the Earth was round.
I'm not quite 100 yet. I don't know.
I know, but you still, it was still fairly new being taught when you were in school, right?
I did not. I went to Episcopal school, and I went there through the third grade, I believe. And so I learned a lot of religion as far as that goes. They didn't teach religion in public school. You could say the Lord's Prayer, you could celebrate Christmas, all those things you can't do anymore. But they could do those kind of things. But when I was in school, we even went to church during school. That was a part of it.
Yeah.
Was that your question?
No. I'm just what I'm trying to get at here is they just like with Fauci, what he's tried to pull the past few years. I am the science type stuff. What I say goes. Blah 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 blah. That type of stuff. And as I've gotten older and I've started actually researching and seeking things myself, I've started to learn that 75% of what they taught me in school was lies. Or damn sure seems like it's lies. And you cannot question it. If you dare question it, you're a conspiracy theorist or you're some stupid person who believes in the Bible. Because the school tried to convince us that people in those times were just stupid. They were ignorant. They lived in caves. They beat women on the head. They drug them in there. They were dumb, right? I mean, this is what they taught. This is what they taught us in school, that they were hunter-gatherers, right? But, I mean, they wrote stuff like this. They were hunter-gatherers. And then if you go back and look in the ancient times, and we get honest with ourselves about before the flood, and we get honest with ourselves about Bekle Temple, the all the ancient cities that they're digging up, all of those were highly advanced, even proven that they had electricity, even proven that they had wheels, that they created batteries. We're talking about an advanced society of people who wrote all this. But when I was in school, they told me that they were all ignorant people who just hunted and did this. So once you learn that, I start to wonder, well, maybe they are lying about the earth with science as well. Go ask a scientist about flat earth. Go talk to somebody like that and see how they respond to you. I mean, they don't even want you talking about it. They don't want you discussing it. They don't want you, none of that, just like they don't want you discussing and what it possibly may do to you and all the nonsense science behind all of that. So that's why I mean, it's hard not to question and not to go, you know what? I'm believing more and more and more that it's absolutely flat because God tells us over and over again it is. Over and over and over again in the Bible. And not really that. Let me show y'all something while we got y'all going on here. I'm going to pull up something. I'm going to screen share something. What do y'all know about Disney? The creator of Disney? They like to, you know how the devil likes to put signs right in front of our face? Let's check out Walt Disney when he died. Hold on, guys. Well, check this out. And then I'm going to pull up exactly. Video opening. I'm going to play the opening, and then I'm going to show y'all something that he put on his headgrave, okay? Now pay attention to the kingdom and what's going over the kingdom. Hold on, dang it. All right. Right there. Blatantly in your face. Now, check this out. Walt Disney headstone. I can't find it. Where is it? It's not letting me pull it up. Okay, anyway, on one of theirs, they put Psalms 19:1. So let me pull up what that is. Now, y'all remember what y'all just saw go over the kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Psalms 19:1. All right, I'm going to screen share this with y'all so y'all can see it. All right, now, Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show his handiwork. Day unto day utter speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he has set a tabernacle for the sun, which is a bridegroom coming out of its chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. He is going forth. He is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, unto the ends of it. There is nothing hidden from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. Testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. I think it's very important to read number 1 again. The heavens declare the glory of God. The firmament shows his handiwork. And Disney puts it in every one of their shows. Now, yes, I could be reading into that too much, but it sure is interesting, isn't it? Especially when I think I got him and another guy mixed up. So Walt Disney put it in his show, and it was one of the astronauts who put on his gravestone the 19:1, pretty much telling us that, sorry, we never went to space. Even Buzz Aldrin, in an interview as he was old, I don't know if y'all seen that interview, when the person asked him, he was sitting up on stage, we didn't never go to the moon. They had to take him off stage afterwards. So it's intriguing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I believed for a very long time that we went to the moon and that we were going to travel in space and that all these things. But the more I'm seeking God, the more I believe that those are lies from the devil, and that what we call Mars is another kind of luminary where we're seeing through the actual firmament, and the actual land of Mars is outside of Antarctica. Just like the other planets. Those are lands. Those are not planets. Those are actual land that they will not let us go see for whatever reason. I truly do believe that. I'm 99.9% now at that point. The only way I can really prove it is to be able to go through the Antarctica wall, and they would kill me before I could ever get to that chance. So how do we prove something like that? We have faith that God's word is right, and that maybe our concept of flat isn't what we think. Because what does God say? My ways are not your ways. Your understanding can never begin to comprehend my understanding. So maybe the concept of, in our minds, of flat isn't the same concept of flat. Because when he describes it with Sheol below, the firmament above, the waters that divide, and then you've got the flat earth, then you've got Antarctica's ice walls. It's more of a dome that is a sphere. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the
I see
devil
what you're
puts
saying.
the truth right in front of your face. He always has a little truth in his lies, right? That's what makes it so believable. Y'all don't have to agree with me. I'm okay with that. I know that I think a little too much and go a little too deep with this stuff. As a matter of fact, I like the fact that y'all challenge me on that.
Yeah, not to discredit your theory on the ark over the castle, but when they originally created that flying logo, that thing you see going over is supposed to represent Tinkerbell, the little fairy flying over the castle.
Right. Now look
Tinkerbell
up
from
right, but
Peter
look,
Pan.
which also represents the 13 fallen angels.
Hmm.
And have you ever seen Paramount's opening where it's got the 13 stars over the kingdom?
Hmm.
It's just interesting to think about. She may be absolutely right. Maybe all it is about is Tinkerbell. But Tinkerbell would
I
be
mean,
considered a
I'm
fallen angel.
open-minded to it. I don't believe the earth is flat, but like I said, like I told you the other day, I'm always open-minded to it. But I
Right.
do not, that's where me and you are different. We disagree on. I do not believe the earth is flat. But it is very interesting and intriguing to see other people's perspectives. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And that's what guys say. This is my wife. You don't have to agree on everything. As a matter of fact, the fact that she doesn't agree with me challenges my belief and makes me want to dig deeper. Makes me want to learn more so I can come back and say, you know what, you're absolutely right. Or I can come back and say, well, look here, we've got some more evidence to look at. I know that the media and politics and culture today try to convince you that you must agree on everything. And if you don't, you're somehow a bigot or you can't get along. And that's BS. And we're proving it right now. What do you think, Mom? Do you think the possibility that the earth is flat in a sense that I was trying to describe?
I think there's always a possibility. I mean, we already don't. We know that we don't know everything. There's always that possibility out there. I, for one, am not sure what difference it makes, whether it's round, flat, or triangular.
Well, it changes everything. It makes a huge difference. Just okay, so I'll help you understand that. What if science came out and admitted the Earth isn't spinning, the Earth is flat, and we've been hiding dead giant bones from y'all all along? What would it do?
It would prove the Bible.
It would send a lot of people running straight to Jesus, and the devil doesn't want that now, does he? That would be the reason to convince you that it's not flat, because those stupid, ignorant people back in the day thought the world was flat. That's why they wrote it. They were just too dumb to know. They're too ignorant to understand. Now, again, I'm just like with Ashley. I could be wrong on my perception of it, but that's exactly, if I was the devil and I was to play a trick on somebody, that's a damn good one. And then you get everybody in the world to never listen to you because, just like, think about it. And how many movies have we witnessed where there's one person in the past that has figured something out and has been called crazy, Looney Tune, locked up in a mental hospital, and come to find out 10 years later, not only was he right, he was, really right and was trying to warn people of stuff.
I believe there's a whole lot of people out there with a whole lot different information than we all believe. And maybe one of them's right. Maybe two of them's right. Who knows how many of them are right? They're out there. And it just remains to be seen. I think that God left a lot of mysteries.
Yes.
That are going to, that need to be not necessarily proven, but shown to us I mean, let's face it, Jesus Christ kind of changed the world, didn't he?
Yes.
And they said earlier in what you read that he was coming alone or implicated it.
Oh, no. He says he's coming with 10,000s of 10,000s of 10, meaning millions of warrior angels are coming with him when he comes. When he comes this time, he's not coming for peace. He's coming with a flaming sword. This is where you're going to see the wrath of God when Jesus comes back.
When it talks about that part of the Bible, when it says he's coming, in that way, he's coming with a what did you say, flaming sword?
I can't remember word for word, but something along those lines.
I feel
But he'll be
like
coming on the clouds with the flaming sword, something like that.
whenever I hear that, my mind instantly thinks of an asteroid or a comet. Then I think, well, maybe in Revelations, because the books of the Bible were written by man and their perception of what the visions God gave them, correct? So you're getting a man's perspective.
Some of them, yes.
So when you read the books of the Bible, you're getting a man in the flesh, his mind's perspective on what he perceived in the visions that God gave him to write those books.
I will agree with you on some of that. Now, Enoch is the scribe of God, and listen to this again. Enoch is a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the holy ones in the heavens, which the angels showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw. So this is not just some man, just for his perception of it. Literally, the angels, all of the angels talked with him. God talked with him, pulled him up. This is later we're going to get into where the Ophanim angels come in. Ezekiel's wheels. All of those things connect back to this. And those Ezekiel, Enoch, what's his name? I don't believe they wrote the Bibles from their perceptions because they literally walked with God. He was the scribe of God. He was raptured. He didn't die. He's still, he's still the scribe for God. He sits with God, with the council of God. He was the person who interceded before Jesus came for humans and for giants. So when Jesus gave the sacrifice, we no longer needed someone to intercede for us, like a priest or like a sacrifice, right? Well, Enoch did that. That was him before Jesus. Enoch did that for the humans and for the Nephilim. And when we get further into that, you'll see what I mean. So yes, I do believe that some of the books, what man's perception, yes, I get that. And I do agree that over time, translations have changed. That's why it is so important to go back to these older ones and to go find these other books where people will help you understand what these things actually mean. But we always teach that this is the word of God. So it's either the word of God by man's perception or it's the word of God. Right? I'm not saying right or wrong. I get it. I absolutely agree with you. I think a lot of it is their perception in some sense. I do. I agree with that. But that's further other writers, more towards the New Testament. If you understand what I mean.
Right. Well, the way I see it when I say man's perception is because back then we didn't have the same kind of technology and they believed the earth was flat back then because there was no satellites back then. So when they were given these visions by God about certain topics, they already automatically referred to the earth as flat. So when they went to go write the Bible, that's how they would refer when they were writing their perspective they would have always referred to it as flat because that was all they knew. That was what they thought back then. You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion. That's how
The only thing I
see it.
challenge you to think about is what you're saying. That's it. That's the only thing I challenge you to think about. I'm not trying to force you to agree with me, but you keep saying that they were too ignorant.
No, they weren't ignorant. They didn't have satellites.
What do satellites have to do with it?
Like,
Here's a good question. Who the hell took the picture of when he got off onto the moon?
Oh, that? Yeah. No, I was actually going to tell you that earlier.
Was there a camera already floating around taking pictures of the moon when he was getting off? Because it sure seems that way.
No, this is where me and you agree. I actually don't think they went to the moon. Like because I remember
I'm trying to check. Okay, Tesla proved that the pyramids were built to be power plants, to literally generate electricity and to send it wirelessly across places. Again, how uneducated are these people? They seem highly educated. They seem a lot more advanced than we are.
I think they were smarter than we are.
We can't build none of that right now. None of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember, you got to go further back. When Adam and Eve were thrown out of the garden, you have to remember that Adam was taught everything by God. Can you imagine what he was actually taught? I mean, he was there for 1,000 years probably in the garden with him, teaching him everything. And then Adam named all the animals. He was thrown out. Adam created the family. Their family split off. They lived thousands of years back then, 969 years, 800 years, 375 years. Can you imagine the knowledge you would gain in that amount of time? I'm 42 years old, and I feel like I'm finally starting to get wisdom. Can you imagine the wisdom they had? And that's exactly what I mean. Education today wants you to believe that those people were not as advanced as us when we're actually dumbing down. The education is making us stupider, not smarter. Education should have the Bible put back into it. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that. But no, I'm just saying, and you have to remember that they want us to believe that they were that stupid, that they were just ignorant back then. They were so ignorant, they believed the earth was flat. How stupid are they? I mean, what proves the earth is round? It's a good question. What proves the earth is round? They'll say the horizon as you go over the water, but there's been test after test after test that can prove flat earth makes it look the exact same as it would if it was on a horizon. The further away it gets. And then you imagine the what is it called when you're looking over water? A mirage. So the further the boat gets out, you got the mirage too. Then it looks like it's going over horizon, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. But don't you think at some point, if the Earth was spinning like this and 75% of the Earth is water, at what point does it not start to really just come off? I mean, it would seem like the water. If it's okay, I should have pulled up a video on how what science tells us on how the Earth spins around the moon, around the sun, around the other planets. And if that was true, and if they were at the speed that it says that it's going, eventually the constellations would change, and eventually the Earth would come very, very close to the moon, and then it would loop back in cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Yep.
Now, that's just a theory. I don't know that. I'm not a scientist, but maybe you are. Anyways, we'll stop it with that, and we will be doing a whole series of these with I've got all of the Apocrypha books. We've got the Enoch. We've got the Unseen Realm. I want to get the Book of Mary. We've got the Bible. We are not going to do this in a way with just trying to convince you. Like I said, we want to learn. We're not claiming to know it all. And we don't all agree on everything. Guys, thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me. I enjoy doing this, especially with somebody else. So thank you. And I am also looking for people that would want to come on my It's Happening for the more political stuff as well. But we are welcoming as many people that want to come on to this Bible studies type thing that we're doing. I can have up to 10 people on at any given time. Don't forget to go to vandystreet.com to like this video, comment below, share it with your friends and family. And you guys have a wonderful day, and I will let them say what they
Bye,
don't
you
normally
guys.
end. They don't normally
Bye.
end like I do. Bye, y'all. Love y'all. I'll talk with y'all. Don't hang up. Y'all don't get off. Y'all have a wonderful day, and don't forget to go follow Vandi Street Creations by Vandi Street, Mama Vandi on TikTok, Sharon Vandiver on Facebook, Vandi Street on all the other platforms, and you can find me by my name on most of them. You guys have a wonderful evening. God bless, and don't forget it is happening, especially if a Democrat tells you it's not.